This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Time. Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. Today we toast an anonymous woman on Facebook. She recently took to Facebook looking for advice. Now, unfortunately, she was looking for medical advice. Sort of. She was more looking for a way to avoid going to a doctor because, in a nutshell, her earlobe is infected, okay? So just track with me here. She has gauged ears. And then recently, she and her boyfriend were having sex. No. And then they pop out the gauge, and in a bid to be adventurous or to fulfill a rather peculiar fetish, her boyfriend put his penis through the gauged earlobe. Ooh. Now it's infected, and she wants to avoid humiliating herself. That's the entire story. She posted pictures of it, man.
Have you seen those pictures?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
There's something wrong with this penis.
It looks like it belongs on the backside of a baboon.
It does. It does. Like...
His penis or the ear?
The ear.
Okay,
but if his penis did that to your ear, you should not let that penis anywhere near you. Okay. So, yeah, he decided that he was going to do that. Yeah. And now it's infected. No. And she just doesn't want to go to the doctor because they're going to ask, how did this happen? So let's drink. We pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
You've always bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You've always bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Jam on.
This week on Sit and Spin, we had the 10 dumbest songs of all times. We picked 2 from the top 10. That would be the Trashmen and Surfin' Bird taking on Elvis. And What Does the Fox Say? Mike, how was the voting?
Miles, haven't you heard? Everybody knows that the bird is the word there, Miles. So does the Trashmen who win Bad Choice
There
Friday.
you go. Here's your winner on a Bad Choice Friday. You are listening to The Men's Room, 99.9 KISW.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the men's room presents TV Time with Ted.
Woo! Dad's stuck on me.
Damn it. That's all right. I completely lost train of thought there. All right. I'm dead serious. I was like, oh, thank God I printed off these jokes. Let's see. Your choices will be the Jimmys. And
Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel. RuPaul still?
RuPaul is in there.
Okay.
You have Seth Meyers or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there in the title. All these guys have teams of talents and writers that help them come up with their monologues each and every night, and it's up to you to determine, is this an actual late-night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
A new documentary is out on Netflix about the dark side of Bob Ross. Hey, Netflix, while you're ruining my childhood, just make a documentary on Big Bird's drug habit already.
Fallon.
Smith!
Damn. Nice one.
Netflix just released a documentary about legendary painter Bob Ross that claims to show the dark side of his life and legacy. It's called Bob Ross, Happy Accidents, Betrayal, and Greed. Really, Netflix? Do we need to do this? I mean, what's next? Betty White, secret serial killer?
Seth Meyers.
Fallon.
That's Fallon.
Netflix just released a documentary about legendary painter Bob Ross that claims to show the dark side of his life and legacy. It's called Bob Ross, Happy Accidents, Betrayal, and Greed. Really, Netflix? Do we really need this? I mean, what's next? Betty White, secret serial killer.
I'm trying to think, like, Big Bird seemed like the biggest one. I'm trying to think of who else from people's childhood would just crush him.
I think you nailed it with Big Bird.
Yeah, right?
Mr. Rogers, maybe?
He was a little creepy to begin with.
He wasn't everyone's favorite. We watched the show.
Elmo.
Yeah, anybody from the street.
Yeah.
Straight people.
The makers of Mountain Dew have announced that they will release a limited edition Hot Cheetos flavored soda, and the FDA is already scrambling to approve a vaccine for it.
Seth Meyers, maybe?
Lee Ted Smith.
That's Seth.
The makers of Mountain Dew have announced they will release a limited edition Flamin' Hot Cheeto flavored soda, and the FDA is already scrambling to approve a vaccine for it.
Did it get full approval? Someone has been stealing 3-foot-tall Snoop Dogg bobbleheads. When reached for a comment, Snoop said, "Stop robbing my bobble, baby bubba."
Lee Ted Smith.
That you, Ted?
It's dumb enough for me, but it should be found.
Police in multiple counties are investigating thefts at a grocery store because someone is stealing 3-foot-tall Snoop Dogg bobbleheads.
When reached for a comment, Snoop said, "Stop robbing my bobble, baby bubba."
Miles, you still got Miles bobbleheads around?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, they're in a box somewhere. Not really a hot commodity, believe it or not, Ted.
I still can't believe that's not a thing anymore.
Bobbleheads?
Yeah.
It's more of the thing like that Miggs has on his desk now. That seems to have taken over.
Oh, the Funko stuff.
The Funko stuff. You're right, but at the end of the day, you know, we can give you a hard time about the fake hole-in-ones, but, like, you're the only one with a real bobblehead.
Well, yeah. That's a good point.
I know they're real. A zoo in Belgium recently banned a woman because she was having a self-described affair with a chimpanzee, which negatively affected his relationship with other apes. And, just a guess here, hers with other humans.
Seth Meyers.
Seth.
A zoo in Belgium recently banned a woman because she's having a self-described affair with a chimpanzee, which is negatively affecting his relationship with other apes. And just a guess here, hers with other humans?
I mean, Yeah, how do you have that conversation? What was your ex like? He was a chimpanzee.
They banned her from the zoo.
Yes, it's creepy. I mean, it's bestiality. I would also, look, sorry. There's
She's not having sex with it. It's just the chimp got real excited when she showed up.
So she hasn't physically been with the chimp.
Yeah, it's more like a long distance relationship, even though they can see each other. Mm-hmm. It'd be like visiting a guy in jail, right?
I guess
if you get out, you come find me.
But it's not like the chimp has like written her letters or been like, hey, like I think you're beautiful. He just merely got sexually aroused when she was in front of him.
I don't know if he got sexually aroused.
I don't know if it was sexual.
He just gets fired up when he sees her?
No, he just stood there and masturbated at the edge of the cage when he saw her. No, I don't know.
All right.
If she showed up, and she showed up like 4 or 5 times a week, I guess, like this thing would just come down and basically just hang with her.
Right.
Which is weird.
It's like it was waiting for her.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Chimpanzees, that's crazy, man. Let's see. There's some movie stuff. Lion King prequel has found its Mufasa and Scar. They're just going to be voices. Who really cares? Tom Cruise, famous for doing his own stunts. Miles, how many times did Tom Cruise drive a bike off a cliff for Mission Impossible 7?
7.
You'd think so, but it was 6.
Oh, 6. I showed that to Steve the other day, and I'm like, look at this guy. He's going to kill himself.
That's what he does.
This ramp was... I would have a hard time just driving the bike and staying on the ramp. It's this thin, narrow ramp.
Yep.
It goes over the top of a canyon. He's on a motorbike. He jumps. Then he propels himself off the bike. The bike goes down to wherever. He then opens up a parachute and parachutes down to the bottom of this canyon.
And he insisted on doing it himself. He spent a year training just for that one shot.
Wait, what did you say happens to the bike?
The bike either goes into a net or a balloon, or, I don't know what they've got down there at the bottom of it, or it's just destroyed every time he does it. All right, he literally just throws the bike off.
Yeah, he trained for a year to do this one scene, right? So he knew the scene was going to be in the movie. And look, he produces most of these things, and he loves doing his own stunts. So he's like, well, look, I'll do it. And they're like, no, man, we got stunt people. But again, if you know anything about Tom Cruise, he doesn't care. Like, he does his stunts. So, like, when you watch these movies, if he's hanging off of a building or everyone's having the special effects, it's like, no, that's him, man. This is what he chooses to do.
That just seems wild. You can just drive motorcycles off a cliff and just ditch them.
Well, when you got that much money.
And then pull a parachute. And it wasn't like, it's a narrow canyon, too.
Yeah.
So he's really making some hard banks not to go into the side of these canyon walls.
And he's not a spring chicken.
No, he's not. No. This is what he lives for, man. Somebody who is just, I think maybe from the last movie, they're talking to another actor about working with Tom Cruise. And they said, it's kind of intimidating because the guy, whatever you think of him, he's been popular 30, 40 years or whatever. So there's that. He's like, but we're doing the scene. And I understood in the script that the scene he's hanging onto the side of a plane as it takes off, blah, blah, blah. He's like, but he actually does it. So he goes, when you have a day that maybe you feel a little under the weather, the scene's taking too long, he's like, that's not the guy to bitch to. Because he's like, yeah, I'm going to go hang on the side of a goddamn plane.
Well, and he's a Scientologist and, doesn't drink or anything. Like, I'm sure that adrenaline and that stuff, like you said earlier, you summed it up. Like, that's literally what he lives for.
He loves this stuff. But credit to him, man.
Yeah.
He did it. He's alive.
Yeah.
And he did it that many times just to get the right footage. Right, I'd be like, one and done. Like, I don't care how good the camera angle is on this one. Like, maybe my face is a little scrunched up. It's okay.
Maybe also he really likes doing it. So he just kind of like, we'll shoot it again.
I think that might be part of it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, if Mike's shooting a video after work and it's like, hey, I need everybody to do a shot for this video. Like, we flubbed that one up, Mike.
Let's do it again.
That 6 wasn't nearly up to my expectations. Let me try again.
Yeah, exactly. That first slice sucked. Do you guys watch any interior decorating shows?
Not so much.
I mean, they show up on my TV plenty.
Okay, so I don't watch a lot of them. You hear, people won't know this, but in the office, Miles the Thrill here, Mike and I talk often about Impractical Jokers.
Yes.
Right? Like, we love that show. And if you have True TV, it is on constantly. Like, it's kind of like a joke. Like, at any time of day, you turn on True TV, and there is an Impractical Joker or something.
It's the new cops.
Right. Once in a while, right? They'll have the magic guy in the morning, but it's mainly just Impractical Jokers. But they have a new show on there called Backyard Bar Wars.
All right.
Chris DiStefano is a comedian. If you saw him, you'd recognize him. He's been in a few movies, and he actually does a podcast, Mike, with Prince Herb.
Oh.
Yeah, Sal. So I was watching this, and somebody made the point to me. They were like, "Do you like interior decorating shows?" Like, no, they're boring as hell. They're like, but you'll watch people, two friends have like a fight, like, a play fight over who could build a better backyard bar.
Sure.
And then the comedian comes in and they build like these crazy build outs. And they're like, this is just interior decorating. Like, literally, it's just outside at a bar for dudes. And I was like, yeah, well, some of the contestants are women. So I was like, I don't know. It seemed like a decent theory.
I mean, it's the same thing, but like anything, it has to be something of interest to you. So if the interior design show is Greatest Man Cave, it's much more likely that we will sit down and watch this, right?
Or a garage thing.
Because we get excited about the kegerator or the, whatever the hell, his sports memorabilia, whether you like the team or not. But if it's throw pillows and stuff, like, well, I don't care so much.
Yeah, and Miles, like, you'll like this. I like the host of it. Like, not only are they going to, like, they'll give you you win a prize if you win. You invite over your friends. They trust me, some of the bars they build are awesome. I don't know how you're going to keep them clean. It's mostly in Southern California.
That's how.
But then part of it, too, is you have to make your own cocktail. So I always like, the host shows up and he's like, all right, we'll get to building. What's up with the cocktail?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like,
dig it.
Right,
Let me taste it.
Right, he starts the show by like putting down a couple drinks. So like, that one's not too bad at all. Let's see, Dancing with the Stars. This is big news. Mike, help me out with her last name. JoJo Swina?
Good enough for me.
Yeah. She's a huge internet star and this and that. She recently just turned 18, and she identifies as pansexual, so she's going to dance with a female partner. I guess the story here is Dancing with the Stars will have its first same-sex couple dancing. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't really know. I don't think that's going to be a big deal.
Bring back the Spice Man.
Yeah. Well, and again, like with this generation coming up, like a lot of the stuff they don't care about. It doesn't register. Like, it's not a big deal.
That is not a big deal.
Right. The only other contestant they've announced so far for the upcoming 30th season of Dancing with the Stars is the gold medal gymnast Suni Lee.
I imagine she'll do well.
I think she will too, because she's been doing a floor routine her entire life.
Right.
Right. Well, that's kind of the thing we've been joking about for years, right? Like, remember Emmett Smith, Jerry Rice?
Yeah, trained athletes.
Right.
Who work on footwork specifically.
Or Tony Braxton, who's a pop star. Like, right, like, pop stars and trained athletes, like, just have an unfair advantage. They're just more athletic. And then the pop stars, like, that's part of their job.
Right, is to learn to dance.
Yeah. I like to see somebody random get on there and just crush it.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah, Danny DeVito. I'm trying to think. Like, yeah, just somebody somebody you wouldn't expect.
All right.
You know what I mean? So
Danny DeVito.
Maybe they should, right. But Danny DeVito's gotten old. They should just do that. They should just pull a random dude off the street.
Against this guy. All the celebrities against this dude.
Yeah.
He was sleeping in a box under a bridge.
You know what they should do? It's Dancing with the Stars. Now follow me on this one.
All right.
But then they also bring out Wedding Guy. Right? We were talking about getting like...
Oh, the guy that just dances at the wedding and...
Right. So he loves dancing. Now, sure, he's got to put a few drinks back before he gets warmed up.
Yeah.
But now we're going to train him professionally. Game time, show time. Fill him up with a couple cocktails that he goes out there and dances.
I'd watch that.
That's what I was just thinking, right?
That.
Like, who are you voting for? Like, Wedding Guy. and you know what I mean? It's like, and you could nominate your own Wedding Guy. Feel like, dude, my cousin's friend, God, he was crushing.
Maybe that should be the show, like Wedding Dancer. People to send in the videos of them dancing at a wedding. Because rarely is it awesome.
Correct.
It's always intriguing. You can't take your eyes off of it. It's like your cousin from Boston, that dude, when you watch him dance.
Exactly.
Like, a lot of energy. I would watch that show. I really would.
Better than watching someone who spent their whole life doing gymnastics and already knows probably how to dance.
Yeah, that's not interesting.
Win the whole thing.
I know you know how to dance. That's what you do.
It's like catching a football with, Chad Ochocinco.
Right.
Okay. He did that for a living.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so close.
Yeah, exactly. Kicking a soccer ball.
Right.
With Brad Evans. Well, he played professionally.
Yeah. All they do is footwork. Yeah. Whether you're a receiver, a soccer player.
A little spoiler alert here. If you're going to watch the Disney Plus reboot of Doogie Howser, he's not in the first season.
Wait, Neil Patrick Harris?
He's not. Because they filmed during the pandemic and everything.
Oh, right.
But don't worry. He's already come out and he says, hey, if they're doing season 2, like, I want to be a part of it. I want to be in there. So it's not anything bad. He just wasn't there for it. Hanging out with his family. I mean, look, 2020 was a hell of a year. 2020, you looking crazy too, but it's a little better.
Yeah, a little bit. Baby steps, man.
Baby stepping it. Let's see. All right, some TV stuff for you this weekend. If you like football, good news. Tomorrow, Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning, starting at 10 o'clock on Fox. After they have a Big Ten matchup, so college football starting back up. For Seahawks fans, the Hawks have their last preseason game Saturday night at 7 p.m. You should see some Russell Wilson. We haven't really seen much of the first team offense or defense.
I think you're going to see a whole lot of Geno, Ted.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the third guy.
That's like a big goose egg in the first quarter.
Yeah, exactly right. We're not going to see my guy Magoo. He's gone. Yeah. And then Sunday,
he's done it again.
Sunday's obviously a huge day if you're a soccer fan in the city. You know the rivalry between Seattle and Portland. First up, you have the Thorns from Portland taking on the Reign. So you want to watch that one. That's your women's soccer. Then after that, you'll have the Seattle Sounders taking on the hated Portland Timbers.
Whose ass we kicked last time.
Mm-hmm. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. West Virginia man is busted growing weed and tells cops he doesn't trust drug dealers and does not like pills. We head to Japan, where trying to rob a store with a lighter is one of life's many thrills. Man who applied to be an officer calls 911 to see if he got the job. To Wales, where people are demanding that the red dragon on the flag should include a thing that does throb. And a man learns if you kill someone, it's not a good idea to go back to get your cell phone. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
Top story, authorities in Mississippi didn't have to look too long for their suspect in a murder investigation. While scanning the crime scene, authorities came across a phone that was seemingly left behind, and as they were examining it, the owner returned to the scene looking for it. He was interviewed at police headquarters and arrested.
How dumb can you be? It's almost like he's on a game show. How stupid can you be?
And again, just to bring your cell phone to I suppose he wasn't going there to commit the crime. It might have been just a crime of opportunity.
Maybe.
But the fact that it happened in the middle of the street tells me maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, look, I don't know, man. He made it easier for the cops.
Right. Bro, your best shot is just to leave the thing behind. You go back to claim it? No.
I really do think that there should be like a legal thing where you don't go to jail for, but you get fined for also just being stupid.
Right.
Right. So even if it's just something where it's like, no, you know what? You're just stupid. Here's an extra $500.
Right.
Because this is dumb.
This on.
You don't take that on you because you have a tracking device in the first place on you while you're committing the crime.
Right. No, mine's in my backseat.
Even if you kept it with you when you left,
yeah, they ping it.
They ping it to the spot of where you were at that time and know that you were in that area.
Exactly.
So if you're going to do something like that, you don't take your phone with you in the first place.
Inspirational words from Miles Montgomery.
If you want to kill somebody, be smart.
Would you do it gangster style or personal?
What do you mean?
If you had to kill somebody.
Like, would you cock the gun sideways, or would you do the guy like you?
Would you make it personal, like choke him?
No.
Or just nice and clean.
Yeah,
like at Pet Solutions. Again, if there was a ultimate solution, it'd be clean, quick.
Sure.
But what could I, at Pet Solutions, say they show up and they're like, yeah, well, handy your problem. They're like, look, I'm not going to ask a lot of questions, but can I sign the make it personal waiver?
Oh, sure.
You got a guy for that?
We do. It's an extra $150, but he doesn't mind.
Okay.
In other news, people in Wales are having a hard time figuring out that the emergency line is not a customer help line. Operators detailed in an interview some of the ridiculous reasons people had been misusing the 999 system. One woman called emergency services after doing a little rearranging of furniture, and her sofa got wedged in her hallway. Another man called 999 to ask about his police officer application and if he'd gotten the job.
I like that guy.
They're saying that he probably wasn't a good fit there.
Mm-hmm. I get the feeling, even though the person you called is not the person who knows, I bet you their answer is no.
Right.
No, you did not get the job.
Because you're dumb enough to call 999 to see if you got the gig instead of calling the actual doggone police headquarters.
Mike, one of my favorites, years ago, back when pagers were the latest technology, still payphones. I'm walking into a Rite Aid. There's a brother on the phone at the payphone outside, and he's mad. But I hear him going, "No, I don't have an emergency. You guys called me." He's talking to 911, and I realized someone is basically trying to tell him, "Hey, something important's going on, right?"
Right.
So they hit him with 911.
Yeah.
Call me back. This is important. That's what that is. And this dude called 911 like, "Yeah, what you guys want?" They're like, "We don't want anything. What do you need?" Like, "I don't need anything." So at the point I walk by him, he's arguing with them, trying to convince them that they paged his ass. So he's just being polite and returning the call. And I'm like, that brother has no future. And nothing positive coming.
But that was always a thing. If it was 411, they wanted to know directions or where the party is.
Right.
911 was just like, call back immediately.
Right.
And this man called 911. What do you need?
What you guys want?
I remember for us, it was a big deal, too, if somebody hit you with 911. Like,
yes.
911 for that?
Yeah, right. You got mad about it.
Yeah.
And that is it for your headlines with that, Mike Hawkins.
Hey, Mike, we appreciate it. More Men's Room on the way. The Men's Room Happy Hour exclusively on the Odyssey app. We'll see you Monday.
Yes, indeed. It is all true. But in the meantime, we be all about this bitch for 90 seconds. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.